Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday, July 20th. Hope you're doing well. We are live, and it is actually live. You can see here. Well, actually, let me see. There we go. July 20th. We're live. Got a little bit of started off a few minutes late today, but we're here. We're live. If you're tuning in with us this morning, let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from. It's always fun to see where people are tuning in from because we got people from all over the world. In fact, today's guest, I believe, is in Switzerland, and we've had guests from all over the place. The UK, Germany this week or last week. I think it was this week. Another one today. So let's welcome in our guest for the day. Camila, how are you?
I'm good. And you? How are you doing?
Doing well. I'm doing really well. So you grew up in the States, then moved to Switzerland, is that right?
Yes, actually, I moved to Switzerland in 2016
Okay.
because I got married to a Swiss guy, so I didn't have the option.
Very nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. I was just gonna who's the oh, you didn't marry Roger Federer, did you?
Oh no, would have wanted it.
Just like he's Swiss, right?
Yes, he's Swiss.
Okay.
I did marry another tennis player though,
You
but
did.
less famous.
Hilarious. That's so funny. Cool. How do you like Switzerland?
It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
I was saying to Jan, it's very postcard destination, like however you see a postcard and you buy it, that's really like the views over here. So it's very beautiful.
Wow, cool. I love it. Well, welcome to the show. Thanks for taking a few minutes of your time to come chat with us. And I know you've got, a full-time job and a lot of stuff going on. So thanks for coming on. Tell us a little bit about you've got actually lots of stuff going on. You've got a full-time job and you used to do tennis and all that kind of stuff. Tell us a little bit about your history in tennis, and maybe that birthed a little bit of competitive drive that's helped you in entrepreneurship. But tell us a little bit about your journey. Bring us into your world, and then tell us a little bit about what you're doing now. And you've got a job, you've got a digital business that you started. How did that all happen?
So if I go back all the way to my tennis career, I played professionally for around 3 years. Then I decided that I wanted to get married with my husband and get a family. So I had this very entrepreneur mindset going in. With tennis, it was really like, if you don't do the work, how do you expect to get results, right? So I always had this mindset. But when I came to Switzerland, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I had to do. I had to go back to school. I had to find the first job I could find because, well, we needed the money, to sustain ourselves as a married couple and all. Sure. So I literally found a job on retail and had to start from zero. I mean, I had to learn to speak French as well. I had I was nowhere. And for the past 6 years, I literally lost the mindset about an entrepreneur, about wanting to build my businesses and wanting to do whatever it takes for getting what I want in life and that financial freedom for my family and all. And when I found the challenge, I kind of got back, there's this video about Eric Thompson, and that's exactly the video I would used to use in my tennis career, if you don't want it as bad as you want to breathe, then forget about it, So
wow, that's crazy.
I watched it and I was like, God, no, this has to be my sign. This has to be how I make it my own way, my own journey. And that's when I was tapped into affiliate marketing and how I wanted to start my online business and grow back that mindset that I had lost in the past years.
Wow, crazy. The exact same video from Eric? Same one?
Yes,
Wow, that's
exact
so
video.
cool. Isn't that a great clip? Man, there's
Yeah,
something to comment on
it
that.
was pretty mind blowing, and I was like, okay, like literally, it has to be my sign. Like this has to be the one thing for me. Like
Yeah.
there's too much coincidence.
Yeah, totally. Wow, so geez, you feel like you've lost a little bit of that maybe like fire or something, and then it starts to come back. And I can make a comparison, but I am no professional athlete, but I did play sports a lot. And hitting adulthood where there was like sort of this drop off was a little weird for me. It was like, where do I put like all of this like energy and fire and whatever into? And yeah, I found entrepreneurship was a good place to put that. There's always challenges. It's honestly sometimes even better than sports because, for in my opinion, just because there's always something to learn. There's always a new, everything's always changing. Same with sports though, right? Like I mean in sports, think about tennis 20 years ago versus tennis today. It's like or basketball, same thing. I saw this clip of this guy. I used to play basketball, so I saw this clip of this guy who was he was at the NBA. I don't like a pro day or something where he was auditioning to like get drafted into the NBA, and he jumped and his reach on his jump was like over 12 feet, and his hip, like his hip, the side of his hip was basically at the height of the rim. And, like 30 years ago, that was like, we were almost like a different species. It's crazy. And I find the same as with entrepreneurship is like 10 years ago, when I started online, this whole short form video content thing is just didn't exist. It basically just wasn't a thing. And, and it's really changed the game. And what I found is the ability to adapt and change on a dime quickly, um, as if you're let's just make all the cheesy sports analogy, as if you're chasing a tennis ball. You hit it and you've got to plant and cut and get, you got to go the other way. I mean, it's just nonstop plant, cut, plant. And that's kind of the game of business too. So were you the first thing that you found when you came online? Was you come online, and you're like, well, maybe I'll find some sort of way to make money. Were you searching for something, or did you just stumble upon it?
I was searching without knowing what I was searching for, kind of. I did fall for a get rich quick scheme because I was so into getting out of my 9 to 5, and I
Mhm.
think I was a bit in depression, and I
Mm.
fell for that. And my husband and I, we ended up losing around 5K.
Oh,
So that was very bad.
yeah.
So when I found, of course, about a month later, I found Legendary and affiliate marketing and all. I was very, very skeptical because I had just lost so much money and I wasn't ready to lose more, you know.
Yep.
But I said, okay, it's $7. Okay, I mean, seven more bucks, it's not going to do it like change anything anymore after that 5K.
Right.
So I took the challenge, and like as soon as I saw that there was actually a program behind it, I
Yeah.
believed in it, you know. And so I said like, okay, so finally I found what I wanted. And the person that introduced me to affiliate marketing, she has my same name, so I'm sure you know who it is.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And I felt like we had the same story, you know. She had moved to the US,
Yeah.
she had to learn the language, and like she was feeling a bit lost with herself and her career, and how she had a college degree but it wasn't serving any purpose at all in her 9 to 5s. And so I was like, okay, like it's time. I know that I have a different mindset than everyone, and I literally quit my accounting job that I was like having me depressed. I had found already an HR in a big company, and I said like, okay, let's use the full-time job to make money, you know, so that I
Yeah.
can sustain my family in the meantime that my business takes off. And then once it takes off, I will quit, you know.
Yes.
Then I found out that actually the company is thinking of closing like the HR department in this country, in Switzerland, by
Mm,
the end of the year. So I'm like, that's perfect, because if I'm going to get probably fired at the end of the year, I will at least have my backup plan, you know?
mm.
So that was like a way, like a sign for me. So I'm a bit more like I'm using my 9 to 5 to have the financial freedom I want to have, and to be able to use that money and guide it in a better way for my family and for myself, you know? So that's what I'm doing currently. Hopefully I'll quit before being fired, you know, but
Sure. That's the goal, I guess. Yeah, okay, so I wanted to just make something came to mind when you were talking about the whole like get rich quick thing, and I just wanted to comment on that because I've done that too, but sometimes I forget about buying things that are just complete BS, and but early on I was in, I don't know. I took out basically if I could get a credit card, I took it out, and I had like $35,000 in credit cards, and I don't think I would recommend this to everybody. I don't know how smart that was, but I will say that there is sort of a how I viewed it. I should say how I viewed it was there was kind of like a cost of admission, like almost like a, for me, like I think people have different levels and gauges. I do see some people come into this industry to get educated about digital marketing or whatever, and this is the only thing that they buy and they're super happy. But it's pretty rare. In fact, a lot of people who do that end up going and purchasing other shiny objects and coming back and saying, "Wow, I just didn't know." And I think there is a learning curve that needs to happen with a lot of people, where with most people, I think, where you have to purchase a couple things, or you have to try a couple things and feel the waters, and just like everything's so new and so overwhelming and so like what you just don't even really have any bearings of what is what. And so, I just wanted to comment on that. That I think for me, looking back on the last 10 years of having started affiliate marketing businesses, having sold my own digital courses, I think that what I look back on is there was this initial cost of admission that there's just no other way to do it other than like, hey, you might buy into a scam. It just might happen. And then, as you learn, okay, like I got really bad support there. Oh, I didn't make any money there. I didn't learn any skills there. This wasn't for me. Then you can find what's for you over time. And I think that that's a liberating thing, because we often tell ourselves, oh my God, how could I have been so gullible? Or, oh, how didn't I see that? Or like, and there's this whole narrative we can tell ourselves. And I just think, more and more, I witness people come on the show and they've tried drop shipping, they've tried Amazon, they bought this course and they bought this mentorship and they bought, crypto trading and all of this stuff. And then eventually they're just like, I just need a place that's like, how do I learn and get some support? That's all I need. So anyway, and I think that I just also wanted to comment on your journey to figuring out how to navigate the world of your job. And I think that uh, making shifts and making changes is important. But also, if I could go back 10 years ago, I would have, just, and I did this to a certain extent. I worked 50, 60 hours a week, but I was working, shitty retail jobs where I was making nothing. Um, but I was always using that. I reframed my job in a way where I said I can get a baseline. I can pay our bills, and I'm going to get into some debt, but I'm going to consider it like my master's degree. And so everything for me was just a reframe, right? Because I had this narrative of shame going on. I had this narrative of, oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I hid that from my wife for a long time. And we finally sat down one night, and I was just like, hey, look, I've been going to therapy for 2 years. I need to get some shit off my chest, and and then it was just this freeing, liberating. And I thought, oh my God, she'll leave me. Oh my God, she'll hate me, whatever. And she was just like, okay, like, cool. Like, you'll figure it out. And I was like, damn. And I reframed my job as the thing that would help me build my business. I reframed my debt as my education, my learning curve. And eventually down the road, I mean, it took a solid 5-6 years for me, because I didn't have short form video content. I didn't have a lot of the stuff we have today. And I had some inaction, but eventually paid that all off basically in a day. Just kind of sat down and was like, pay, 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 pay. And for me, that's how that happened. It doesn't happen like that for everybody, but
No.
it was that reframe of, I like when people figure out how to navigate the waters of this in between time where you're figuring out, how am I going to go full time with this, but also I've got bills to pay, and I've got my job and everything like that. How do you feel like you're balancing that? Because you also have kids.
Yes. Well, that was exactly what I was going to go into. Like, if it was my husband and me, I would have already taken the risk, quit my job, and we'll see what happens.
Sure.
But it's for my kids, my two girls, that I cannot really take that risk and like leave their like comfort zone, because as a mother, you just want them to be comfortable and to be happy and have everything. And so that's the only reason why I haven't literally quit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do have two kids, and they're pretty toddlers, so they're pretty much running everywhere all the time, and it's exhausting.
And
But
do you work from home?
I have the option. I literally have to go once a week to the office, but I try to go a bit more, because as taking advantage, they have a fitness, so I can use it for free.
Oh, nice.
So I try to go a bit more like mornings, and then I can actually like focus a bit more the afternoons, and with the girls and everything. And so I can do my videos, post them, and create my content and strategies and whatever I'm going to be working on, while working at the same time,
Right.
working my 9 to 5.
Yes.
But,
You and everyone else in the world.
yeah.
Totally. Yeah, that's it's interesting because God, that's a lot to handle. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you find so how long ago did you find us? Was that like
It was
earlier
back in
this
February.
February?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your journey to purchasing the challenge, purchasing our blueprints, getting started actually creating content. I'm curious about you being in Switzerland and creating content, and who is your audience there, and how does that how I'm guessing that most of your content is all English, is that right?
I'm doing all in English, yes, because Switzerland has 3 languages there,
Right.
so it's French, German, and Italian.
Yes.
So it's very complicated. So I literally decided, okay, if I do in French, then German people are not going to understand, and Italian people even worse. So it was going to be impossible. So I said, like, okay, I will go in as an American and in English, and no matter what, if they decide to go and take the challenge, it's actually in English. So they need to, if they don't know the language, they cannot really do it, So that's why I based myself in English. And also, I've seen that most of my followers, it's like Spain, Germany, Switzerland, and France. So I thought it was the best way to go, actually, just with the English, and after it is the international language, So
Yeah.
um,
No, that makes sense. I
yeah.
and do your insights, or do you have any way of showing where most of your audience is from?
Yeah, actually on TikTok, when you go into your analytics, you can check like the percentage of your following from where they're from. And you
Yeah.
can actually see like it says, for example, 35% Germany, 35% Switzerland, 10% Spain. And it usually never arrives to the 10%, like to the 100%, but at least you have your, I think, top 5 countries, and you can base yourself in that way in order to know at what time you can post, what's the best time, what's everything. Because me, what I've seen is that if I post before 4 p.m., my videos will go nowhere. Like I will get no views. So if once, guys, you're in Europe, post not before 4 p.m.
Wow, that's a good nugget. I like that. Yeah, and oh man, just that one little we've had people on the show who, I mean, they've been posting for so long and they hadn't ever considered that. They would wake up at the same time each morning and post like 1 to 2 videos at the same time every single day for months. And somebody was like, "Yeah, you should just try posting at a different time of day. Like just post random different times of day," and their channel just took off. And just lots of traffic and lots of leads, lots of views on their videos, all just because they started posting at a different time and something clicked, you know. And um, that's the you've got to be willing to try different things and just experiment and test and see what happens, kind of thing. And we do that here, but we do that. Like some of the split tests that we run are just at a little bit bigger level, and they make me nervous sometimes. I'm like, oh my god, what's going to happen? I hope I don't break everything here. But so with the actual content creation, did you find that hard, easy? Were you on social media? Had you done it before?
No, I'm literally the most introvert person in the planet. I think I hate posting about my life. In like, if anyone goes into my personal Instagram, you will see it's private, and I have only people I know, and it's literally family. And it's, I think the last time I posted was probably like around February or something like that. So like no
Wow.
one knows anything about me, like unless I post. And so at the beginning I was very stressed with the content creation, but the more I was doing it, the more I was pushing myself to do it. I felt more and more comfortable, to the point that now I don't really care. Like I'm without makeup. I'm sometimes even in my pajamas, and I'm like, okay, let's just go do some videos. I mean, 7-second videos. Let's just do them while I'm preparing my coffee, whatever. Who cares? And so it's been really, like, I've seen an evolution. And if you would go to my account at the beginning, you would laugh. Probably you would be like, what is she doing? I mean, she's zero comfortable. Like, she's not a camera person.
Yeah.
And I all the time show my videos to my husband before I post them, and then sometimes he's like, "You grew confidence, huh?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I literally grew confidence. I think I got to the point where I didn't care what people thought anymore." And that was really a turning point for me, because, I mean, they're not feeding me, so why should I care what they think?
Yeah.
And it's my business, and if I cannot get comfortable,
Hmm.
then it's never going to work for me.
That's
So
right.
I decided to get like past that little rock I had, because I was such an introvert. I even considered doing without my face, but I was like,
Yeah.
maybe it would be harder, and people, I believed, they like to see the face behind,
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, let's push myself, let's get myself out of that comfort zone and try it. And like, my lives are very bad.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say very bad.
Not here, but in TikTok, it feels very weird. You're literally talking to yourself, and it's very uncomfortable.
Yep.
There, I haven't been able to like get comfortable in it, but I'm trying, and I keep doing, and eventually I think it will just work.
Yeah, totally. It will. I used to do webinars. Man, I probably can't find it. I probably can't find photo, but I used to do webinars live. And when I started doing webinars live, I had like, I would be just sweating like profusely. Actually, I do have a photo here. Let me show you this photo. This is embarrassing, but um, I have. Let me see if I can share this. Okay. Oh my God. You can't see this, can you?
No, not yet.
Hang on. I have it open, but I think it's just, oh, here we go. Take two. I can relate to the whole like nervousness, and let's try to well, this just might not work, so we'll see. But
I get the feeling because I am sweating right now.
yeah, well, I get really nervous when like, oh, here we go. Boom. All right. Yeah. So I used to do them in this was a 600 square foot apartment, and I have my TV open, and I have my laptop, and I have a piece of buttered toast and my notes. And I used to set up for our webinars and our cheap little, I mean, remember how I said that we were like $35,000 in debt? I mean, we furnished our whole place by buying like $20 furniture on Craigslist. And this was like $650 a month. It was our second apartment, but tiny apartment. The air conditioner was just in the living room, and it wouldn't reach our bedroom. So I had to set up like this little like trail of fans from the air conditioner to get into the bedroom. And I would do webinars right here. But I'm just telling you, I didn't ever most of the time I just didn't ever get anyone on the webinar. Like I was just sitting there just like talking to nobody. And the weird part is like in that case, it was on GoToWebinar, and I had to pay for the service. I had to get people to sign up and register days in advance and put it on their calendar to show up. And now you can just hold up your phone and just be like, I'm going to go live. And there's a good chance that people are just going to kind of stumble upon you. You've got followers who are just, they've got scoliosis and they're just boom, 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 boom. And they're going to find you that way. And so I totally get the like, this is so weird, but I will tell you that does go away the same way that creating content, that whole weirdness and awkwardness, eventually just kind of, I don't know, it just fizzles to the point where you're like, I don't even remember what it felt like to be nervous about this anymore. It just doesn't matter. Who cares? And it just becomes this little thing. But if you think back to that moment when you first started, it was your whole world was consumed by that stress and anxiety. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's so true. But unfortunately, my lives apparently do not attract people. I'm getting but sometimes after 30, 40 minutes, I'm like, okay, you know what? It's pointless. I stop. I'm like, no.
I try this. Let me give you a tip. The other day on one of our blueprints webinars, I don't know if you and I posted about this in our Facebook group, but this lady Bonnie, she went live and she put up what she did is she typed out a really great headline in her notes app. Try a green screen. Have you tried it?
I haven't tried. I'm still like figuring out the lives.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to add stuff behind. I'm so not tech savvy. Like it's
just screenshot it and then Google search how to put a green screen behind you.
Okay.
How to do a green screen in TikTok, because it's really easy. It's really fast to do it, and you'll figure it out. It's not too techy, but what it does is as people are scrolling, it creates sort of
Attention grabber.
Bingo. Yeah. It's like a way to have a hook that you would normally have on your video, but on your live, you're just like kind of like scrolling, whatever. The other thing you can do that lots of people do this is they put for the description of their live, they put mentioned you. So it looks like as you're scrolling, somebody who's like a user is like, mentioned me? Like, what? Do I know this person?
Okay, I've never seen that, but that's not
Yeah.
a bad.
I see it all the time. And all the lives that I see, they're on my For You page. And every time I see it, I know people do this as like a stupid little hack, right? But every time I see it, I'm a little bit like, mentioned you?
Wait,
Like it's a gut response in humans that like there's no way around it. I can't do anything to not feel like, what is this? Why are you mentioning me? You know? So anyway, a couple tips and whatever.
Thank you.
On your for everybody who's here, people who are newer and people who have doubts or thoughts like, well, I'm in Europe and I can't go as viral, I can't grow a following like you could in maybe the US or whatever. What would you say? I'll give you the last word today. What would you say to those people who might have some excuses or some limiting beliefs about what's possible for them and maybe they're nervous creating content? What would you say to those people?
I would say that I'm the perfect example about not having a big following, but that your business can still bloom. So that you just need to keep going, stay consistent, put in the work, and that maybe it will take a bit longer than in the US, but that it will come. It will be something. I also believe affiliate marketing is coming into the Europe. So, I mean, if you're in Europe, just start, just do it, because maybe you're going to be the person that brings it into your country, and then your business will just take off, and it all will be just because you put in the work. So that's what I would say.
I would agree. And people tell me all the time, how do I get in? How do I change my SIM card? And should I get a new phone with a US SIM card? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you could do that. But also, your approach is exactly what I tell people, which is like, you've got this massive, massive opportunity. This is growing and expanding. And maybe you're an early adopter for your location. That's a good place to be. It's the best place to be. Well, cool. Camila, thank you so much for coming on the show. And this is amazing. Yeah, very inspirational. And I'll throw up your social handle so you can snag a few followers from today's show.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming on.
And thank you for inviting me. And I hope I'll be back soon.
We'd love to have you back. Just send us a little email. We love having people come back on.
Great. I will do so. Cool. Thank you so much.
You can follow Camila on TikTok, Build Wealth Without 9 to 5. So if you're just listening, it's BUILD wealth without, and then it's the number 9 TO and then the number 5. So like 925. And give her a follow, and then also give her a few likes on a few videos. Comment, hey, I saw you on Wake Up Legendary. Or comment what was inspirational about today's show, and give her some love on TikTok. We'll be back here tomorrow, same time, same place, 10 a.m. Eastern. If you'd like to get a text message reminder every time that we go live, you can do that by texting the letters WUL to 813-296-8553. And you'll get a short little text message. I don't know if I got mine, but you'll get a short little text message. Boom, there it is. Every single morning. And then you can literally just tap that little link right there. And boom, you'll get jumped right into the live. And you'll get that every morning. We've never actually tried to sell anything on these text messages. We don't do a lot of promotional through those. We're just simply trying to get as many people as we can, get the word out to Wake Up Legendary instead of waking up to CNN and Fox News and all that other bullshit. So we'll be back here again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll see you then. Peace out, everybody. See ya.